strap yourself in, because we're going on a wild ride to reveal the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme. We're counting down the top 20 animals that fought, jumped, loved, or cheated their way to the top of their episode. And then we'll compare them to human attempts to enter the record books. Each animal was #1, but now they're up against each other. Find out which animal had the most viewers to become the best of the best.
Earth is a planet of extremes, extreme places, and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down what you found to be the most unusual and the most extraordinary on Animal Planet's Most Extreme Special Ever. It's time to reveal the best of the best. Our countdown begins with an animal that leapt over all other contenders to become our #1 most extreme jumper.
You don't have to travel far to find the animal that's hiding at number 20 in the countdown. In fact, it's often too close for comfort. It can spend months waiting patiently for entomologists like Ruud Kleinpass to return home from vacation. Vibrations on the floorboards signal the time to leap into action. The most extreme jumper in the world is the flea. A leap of 13 inches may be one small jump for a bug, but it's one giant leap for mankind. We're talking a leap that's 220 times your body length. With the superpowers of a flea, we'd be able to clear the Brooklyn Bridge. That's nearly 1/4 of a mile. But a flea can also jump more than 150 times its own height. That's like jumping over not one, but 2 Statues of Liberty, more than 700 feet. So what makes fleas such extreme jumpers?
Well, they don't use muscle power like we do. Their legs act more like a catapult. You see, the flea stores its energy in a pad with resin. Now, that's one of the most elastic materials known on this planet. And it winds this pad up. And when it pulls the trigger, pow! It releases all this energy at once, and the flea jumps away.
With such incredible powers, it's no wonder that people are prepared to pay to see performing fleas. Roll up to Maria Cardosa's traveling flea circus. And here are the stars, 300 highly trained fleas. Training begins by looping a tiny wire around the body, for no fleas are harmed for this performance. Once harnessed, the fleas are natural performers. They can be trained to follow the carbon dioxide breath of their trainers, jump towards the heat of a lamp, and even sway to the vibrations of the tango.
Your first act. The tango, please.
It's lucky that fleas are used to traveling at enormous speeds.
3, 2, 1, go! La pulga mala! 3, 2, 1, jump! Fantastic!
And like performers the world over, at the end of the show, the fleas like to kick back, put their feet up, and have something to drink.
The flea may have landed at #1 in the most extreme jumpers, but more people were itching to see the animal from the show ranked 19th in our countdown of the most popular episodes. The Einstein of the natural world was the animal we thought had the most extreme smarts.
This is the Kia, a mountain parrot that lives in the southern Alps of New Zealand. This bird is one of the best because when it comes to intelligence, the Kia is top of the class. As a part of an international test of animal IQ, the Kia was challenged with a 7-stage puzzle. To get the food, it had to pull levers, push buttons, turn handles, and pull out a wooden cart. Up against the best brains in the animal kingdom, the parrot couldn't wait to get started. In a little over a minute, the parrot won the food and the competition. But the cleverness of a Kia comes as no surprise. The parking lots of ski fields in their mountain homes are full of similar 7-stage puzzles. And Kia just love the chance to work things out. Or off. In these mountains, it's the Kia's playful curiosity that gives them the edge. That's how they discovered that shearwater burrows contain nutritious meals. Unfortunately, a young Kia also has to learn that making an omelet isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to a remarkable brain and a beak like a Swiss Army knife, the Kia can crack even this puzzle. But when it comes to smart parrots, one really stands out from the flock. Meet Alex, the resident bird brain at the University of Arizona, where he's worked with Dr. Irene Pepperberg for more than 20 years.
How many green block? 4. Good boy. What matter? Paper. Paper, good boy. Okay, what matter? Whoa. Whoa, very good boy.
The parrot's pretty clever for an animal with a brain the size of a walnut, which is why it was top of the class in our show on the most extreme smarts. But more people tuned in to the episode ranked 18th in our countdown special. Here, the top contender only had a brain the size of a pinhead, but it was still smart enough to become the most extreme builder.
To find the tallest buildings in the world, all you have to do is travel to any big city on the planet. Humans like to build skyscrapers, enormous monuments of our power and wealth. The Empire State Building may be impressive with its 102 floors, but there's one creature that builds on an even bigger scale. Imagine if the most extreme builder in the countdown was the same size as a human. They'd make a skyscraper 4 times the size of the Empire State Building. Only the building would be empty, since these builders live in the basement, all 5 million of them. The Empire State Building of the Animal Kingdom is found on the plains of Africa. Standing 20 feet tall, this mighty tower is the most extreme structure in the natural world. But its construction workers live deep underground. The most extreme builders on the planet are termites. What they lack in size, they make up for in sheer numbers. The enormous queen can give birth every 15 seconds, so there's no shortage of workers to help construct their massive home. And they need all the help they can get, because for termites, building is a very messy business. That's because the entire termite tower is made from a mixture of saliva, dirt, and dung. And they have to mix it all together in their mouths. It may not be pretty, but this plaster sets like concrete and can be molded into extraordinary design features like air conditioning systems, covered walkways, and gardens. But there's not a single window, for termites are blind. In Egypt, there are also huge windowless buildings. But at least the workers who made the pyramids didn't have to chew mouthfuls of dirt and dung. Instead, they invented the first form of concrete, which has survived for more than 4,000 years. It took only 30 years to build the Great Pyramid, yet it remained the tallest building on Earth until 1889. It's hard to imagine that a building that towers over the Statue of Liberty could be made from blocks of solid stone. The blocks weigh about 2 tons, and there are more than 2.5 million in the pyramid. With our modern building techniques, that's enough stone to make more than 40 Empire State Buildings.
Perhaps if termites built with stone instead of spit and excrement, they'd be ranked a little higher in our countdown of the best of the best. So far, we've seen termite towers, brainy birds, and fantastic fleas. But the race to reveal the best of the most extreme continues with a horror that can spend 30 years living inside you. And a fussy eater that will grow 80,000 times its birth weight. That's next on Animal Planet's most extreme countdown ever. Don't go away, because it's the best of the best.
Need a guide? There's more to Nevada than you think. You just have to know where to look. So visit travelnevada.com/TV to receive your free visitor's information package, including the Nevada Adventure.
Exactly the sort of forest I've been looking for. The habitat of one very deadly snake. I'm face to face with the biggest pit viper I've ever seen in my entire life.
Austin Stevens finds the ultimate pit viper, Tuesday at 8, only on Animal Planet. Next Sunday at 7, on Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Animal Planet navigates the Luanga River, where the battle lines are drawn. The crocodile, the hippo. Whose side are you on? Only one of these brave warriors will win the rumble in the river. Your weekly passport to adventure is Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Next Sunday at 7, only on Animal Planet. Bigfoot, the thylacine, the Mothman. If they're out there, we're going to find them on Animal X Week. Tomorrow, Animal Planet will tackle 5 animal legends and, using the latest technology, find the truth.
That's as clear a Bigfoot vocal as you'll probably ever hear.
See 5 nights of mysteries revealed. 5 nights of never-before-seen evidence.
What's that?
5 nights of the all-new Animal X.
Bigfoot is out there.
Tomorrow at 9, only on Animal Planet.
Our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with the show ranked number 17. This starred an animal that chewed past all other contenders, to become the world's most extreme glutton.
Just imagine if you had a baby that ate as much as the most extreme glutton on the planet. Your baby would eat 1,000 times its own weight in only 2 months. That would be like eating the equivalent weight of 3 blue whales, some 300 tons of baby food. And all that eating would make your baby grow 80,000 times bigger. In 8 weeks, your baby would weigh more than the Statue of Liberty. Man, Ruud Kleinpast.
Caterpillars are basically nothing more than giant feeding machines. If you look at their body, it consists of body fluids and a little bit of muscle, I suppose, and then through the middle is this huge gut. And all they want to do is process vast quantities of food. Why? Well, simple, because they want to go through their life cycle as quickly as possible. I suppose that's why they make such a mess of my plant, eh?
Caterpillar spit. Just remember where it came from.
The caterpillar may be the world's most extreme glutton, but at least it only eats leaves. Coming up next is an animal that likes eating us. This nightmare of nature comes from the 16th most popular episode in the countdown. It's an animal that was so scary, we made it our #1 most extreme horror.
They came from everywhere. Millions of writhing, seething creatures oozing out of the mire to feed on human flesh.
Don't think this is just some B-movie plotline. There really are horrific worms that hunt us down. In the tropics, be afraid of the blood fluke. The larval stage of this parasitic worm will burrow through your skin to get into your bloodstream. This little horror heads to the blood vessels near your bladder. Adults can live up to 30 years, constantly laying eggs that are so spiny they can rupture your bladder wall on the way to the outside world. Our nightmares may be full of huge, ferocious beasts, but the scariest things live inside our bodies. Some live inside our gut, just waiting to feast. And the scariest thing is that you might never know that these worms are inside you. Usually you only find out when the worm gets upset and decides it's time to leave the body. But other worms cause trouble because they get stuck in our body. These filarial worms are as thin as sewing thread and as long as your finger. They live coiled up inside your lymph glands, feeding on your body fluids. The trouble is, all these worms curled up can block fluid movement. And that's how we can get the gross swellings known as elephantiasis. How'd you like a limb the same size, shape, and color as an elephant's leg? There's nowhere on your body that worms can't reach. There's even a worm that's at home in your heart.
If you find the thought of parasites being so popular a little hard to swallow, be afraid, because even more people watch the show coming in at number 15 in the countdown. The killer that fought its way past all contenders was so ferocious that we had no choice but to make it the most extreme predator.
Even B-grade movie makers could recognize the killing power of the most extreme predator in the countdown, the shrew.
What is that? It's a Sorex cericidae.
Looks like a small rat.
Shrews as small as rats, perfect for scientific experiments, until they began to grow and grow into things.
They must eat 3 times their own weight in food every 24 hours.
The shrews were out there. I couldn't take a chance.
Blood-curdling, horrifyingly poisonous monsters.
Okay, so shrews are not really man-killers, but they really are extreme predators. No other animal has to kill so often. Shrews may be the smallest mammals on Earth, but they have a massive appetite. Armed with poisonous saliva, they can paralyze prey even if it's 20 times their size. A keen sense of smell and a bunch of whiskers help them find their way to the kill. Shrews are constantly hunting because they have to consume at least their own body weight in food each day to fuel their incredibly fast metabolism. The heart of an elephant shrew beats 9 times faster than a human's. That's an incredible 600 times a minute as it races around looking for food. In comparison, an elephant's heart beats on an average only 25 times a minute. Given the shrew's frantic lifestyle, it's no surprise that it needs vast amounts of energy to survive. Weight for weight, a shrew burns through 100 times more oxygen than an elephant, because a lot of energy goes into just staying warm. If a shrew died, it would cool down in minutes because it quickly loses heat over its relatively huge surface area. Compare that to a dead elephant that might take days to cool down. To put it another way, if a shrew had the slow metabolic rate of an elephant, it would need fur a yard thick to keep warm. But the shrew doesn't have big fur. It has a big appetite to power its extraordinary metabolism. One kind of shrew has to eat up to 3 times its own weight in food every 24 hours. That means to keep pace, an adult human would have to eat 1,920 hamburgers each day.
Sure you won't have one? Delicious.
Unfortunately, in America today, some people are eating like they have the shrew's metabolism. According to the American Heart Association, more than 30% of adults are clinically obese. Part of the problem seems to be that Americans have lost their predatory lifestyle. Once, humans had to burn off body fat hunting their food. Now, the only exercise they get is walking around the supermarket. Life would be so much easier for shrews if they could visit a supermarket. Instead, the only way the shrew can get all the calories it needs to survive is to be the busiest hunter in the world.
So far, we've seen savage shrews, wiggling worms, and crazy caterpillars. But our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with a killer that forces a grown man to wear pantyhose, and a hunter that homes in on the electricity generated every time you move a muscle. That's next on Animal Planet's most extreme countdown ever. Don't miss a moment of the best of the best.
Let's talk about something most people take for granted, mobility. If you suffer from severe arthritis, emphysema, or any condition that seriously limits your ability to get around without help, I have a solution, a power chair or scooter from the Scooter Store. Hi, I'm Dan Weston. Why the Scooter Store? We know what we're doing. We handle all the details so you don't have to. We'll work with your doctor, Medicare, and your insurance. In fact, if you qualify, Medicare may cover up to 80% of the cost of your new power chair. And the Scooter Store offers you this risk-free guarantee. If we pre-qualify you for Medicare reimbursement and your claim is denied, you can keep your power chair at no cost. We've helped over 120,000 people. We're mobility experts. We are the Scooter Store. Call now and see if you pre-qualify.
Call 1-800-311-3513 for a free consultation about your needs. Call 1-800-311-3513 today.
This is what only 5 pounds of body fat looks like. 5 pounds. How much extra body fat are you carrying around every day? 20? 40? More? This is propylene, clinically proven to reduce body fat, and so powerful that its active ingredient was issued a patent by the United States government for weight loss.
It's like a miracle. I cannot believe it, you know. People, they don't even recognize me.
All you do is take a pill, and the fat just comes off.
I didn't do anything different, and I took it and I lost weight.
Call now to try propylene risk-free for 30 days for only $29.95. If you don't see amazing weight loss results, send it back and we'll refund your $29.95. But wait, it gets better. Call now and we'll include a second bottle absolutely free. Call in the next 10 minutes and your shipping and handling is also free. That's right. Call now and your second bottle and shipping is free. That's an additional $40 value. Yours free when you call right now.
Beneath Yellowstone Park, a super eruption is stirring.
The U.S. Geological Survey expects an eruption anytime soon.
Oh, God.
Based on the latest predictions of leading scientists,
There's gonna be an eruption, okay? We know that.
this is the story of what could happen when Yellowstone erupts.
You gotta get out of there now.
Super Volcano, Sunday, April 10th at 8, only on the Discovery Channel.
When Animal Planet host Mo Rocca came to our house, we weren't sure what to expect. He kept saying we'd have a WOC Sunday.
Some cobras spit venom over 8 feet.
Whoa.
While this puppy just wants to lick your face. And peacocks, while peaceful, like to eat snakes.
Whoa. Then we got it. WOC Sunday is filled with whoa moments.
Mo Rocca hosts WOC Sunday, next Sunday at 8. Special so surprising, so amazing, they'll leave you saying, whoa. Only on Animal Planet.
Our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues. Coming in at number 14 is an animal with such amazing powers of perception that it just had to be our choice to be the number 1 in The Most Extreme Super Senses.
About 70% of our planet is covered in water. This is home to the animal with the most extreme senses in the countdown. To find food in this vast expanse of ocean, you need a super set of senses, especially if you're the most feared killer in the sea. The shark may be the perfect killer, but what's the use of being armed to the teeth if you can't locate your prey? That's why the shark has such an array of super senses. Imagine if we had the senses of a shark. We'd have incredible hearing. How'd you like to be able to hear your food cooking a mile away? Your super sense of smell would let you track your food from half a mile. Your eyes would be 10 times more sensitive to light, and you'd have an unbelievably keen sense of touch. From a distance of 10 feet, you'd be able to detect enough vibrations to build up a three-dimensional picture of your lunch. Sharks have taken the senses we know so well to the extreme, but lots of animals have extraordinary senses of smell and sight. Sharks are special because they have a sixth sense. They can detect the tiny electrical fields generated by all living creatures every time they move a muscle. Sharks are so sensitive, they can detect half a billionth of a volt. That's like detecting the electricity generated by a flashlight battery from a distance of 1,000 miles. The sixth sense of the shark is thanks to a network of tiny voltmeters tucked into pits around its mouth. These cells give the shark the ability to locate prey in complete darkness, or even when it's buried under sand. But could it be that sharks are not the only ones born with a sixth sense? Sonia Fitzpatrick seems to have one. She says she communicates with animals using the energy fields that surround every creature.
There we go,
She's traveled to Florida's Gatorland because Tim Williams contacted the pet psychic to help solve a mystery.
This is my favorite alligator in the whole world. Come here, Pop. Here he comes. That's my boy.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Isn't he wonderful?
The alligator called Pop used to be Tim's best friend, but recently something's happened to their relationship.
Oh, he likes you a lot. You're a good old chap, he's telling me. He says you're a good chap. He says you're always there, but he says you've been a bit sad recently.
I just went through a breakup in my relationship.
He said you still get sadness now.
Well, I do now because he doesn't come over and work.
When did you give him some sort of food that you're not giving him so often now?
I used to feed him a lot of red meat.
Yeah.
And then we went to chickens.
Why have you cut that red meat out, he wants to know.
Just availability.
He's annoyed with you for that, and he wants more red meat, and he says he'll be working again like crazy if you give him plenty of red meat.
Tim tried the new diet, and only 4 days later, Pop was back to his old self. But thanks to Sonia, things have changed between Tim and Pop.
But the thing that really got me, I went through some personal family situation a couple of years ago, and I used to come out here and sit on the bank and talk to Pop. I think he was the only one that understood me. And she goes, he's telling me there was some sadness and some things in your life. I'm going, whoa, wait a minute, this is going a little too far. Plus, I asked Pop not to tell anybody. So now I know I can't trust him anymore.
Perhaps only a shark could understand how a human's sixth sense could work. After all, the shark possesses so many extraordinary senses that it's almost impossible for us to imagine how it perceives the world.
Perhaps not everyone feels so attached to the super-sensitive shark, because it's only ranked number 14 in our countdown special. Viewers were obviously looking for something with a little more sting, because the 13th most popular episode starred the deadly animal with the world's most extreme venom.
From out of the sinister seas comes a creature that's both fatal and fascinating.
I didn't know then they could put beauty and poison so cleverly together in one package.
It's no laughing matter when a venomous animal clears some of the best beaches in Australia. For 7 of the hottest months of every year, an invisible killer makes the sea a deadly playground. The only safe place to swim is within the shelter of a fine mesh net. Venture outside the net, and you're playing Russian roulette with the animal with the most extreme venom in the countdown. Meet the box jellyfish. It's easy to see why this deadly jelly makes the countdown of the best, according to marine ecologist Jamie Seymour.
These animals are the most venomous animals in the world. There is absolutely no doubt about that at all. I mean, there have been recorded incidences where people have had 6 or 7 feet worth of tentacle on their body and it's killed them. Now, if you do the sums, a full-grown animal has 15 tentacles on each corner, a total of 60 tentacles, and each one of those tentacles is probably 7, 8 feet long. One animal has the potential to kill 60 people. And it can do it within minutes.
When an unsuspecting victim blunders into the almost invisible jellyfish, the agony is instant. People say it's like being branded with red-hot irons, and that's just what the scars look like. Those trailing tentacles are covered in 4,000 million stinging cells. At the slightest touch, the cells blast a microscopic harpoon through your skin to inject its incredibly powerful neurotoxin. But the jellyfish doesn't hunt humans. It has smaller fish to fry. Its venom is so extreme because it has to paralyze fish fast before their struggles snap the tentacles. Paralyzing neurotoxins may be bad news for fish, but it's booming business for Dr. David Anron at Spalding Cosmetic Surgery and Dermatology in Beverly Hills.
Hi, Lexanne. So, some lines are starting to bother you in your face.
Yes, very much. Forehead, frown, and then right on the side of my eyes, I've got a lot of this squinting.
Okay, great. So let's take a look. Go ahead and raise your eyebrows. Yeah. And frown. And nice big smile. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. I think Botox would be great for you.
Botox is actually a purified form of the bacterial neurotoxin responsible for the most deadly food poisoning in the world. Just like the venom of a jellyfish, Botox paralyzes the muscles that cause wrinkles by preventing the nerves from firing. Eventually, the nerve endings regenerate, so further injections are required to keep the wrinkles at bay. With more than 1.6 million procedures carried out every year, Botox is the fastest growing cosmetic procedure in America today.
So you have friends who have had this done?
Yeah.
Yeah?
My mother's had it done, and the results were great. That's
Yeah.
why I decided to do it.
Well, I'd say virtually everybody loves Botox. Botox is great.
Back in Australia, no one thinks box jellyfish are great, especially the lifeguards. Anybody who enters the water here needs something to protect them from the jellyfish's deadly tentacles. It has to be lightweight, yet thick enough to prevent the millions of stinging cells from penetrating the skin. The solution is pantyhose. Only the most extreme venom in the world could turn a macho male into a crossdresser.
Wearing strange clothes is obviously popular because even more people watch the episode coming in at number 12 in our countdown special. In an episode full of strange transformations, we just couldn't believe our eyes as we watched the animal that used the most extreme disguising.
Sometimes it can be hard to find a master of disguise. These tentacles belong to the ultimate animal magician, the octopus. It's part of the best because it can change shape, color, and skin texture in less than a second, which is really helpful when there's a hungry shark around. This remarkable disguise is thanks to thousands of tiny pigment cells in the octopus's skin. By expanding and contracting the cells, the octopus can create the necessary colors for the complete camouflage. The beauty of the octopus disguise is more than skin deep. If its camouflage fails, there's another countermeasure in the octopus's bag of tricks. Humans can't create an inky smokescreen like the octopus, but professional disguise artists have other tricks that up until recently have been classified top secret. Antonio Mendez was the CIA's head of disguise, and he's the first agent to be given permission to share some of the tricks of his trade.
You have to move people clandestinely if you're going to do espionage. You don't do it from an armchair in Washington, D.C. or in New York. You do it in the field. And in order to do it, you have to move people invisibly. And you do it with documents and you do it with disguise. So you change their identities. You try to have them blend in so they're not seen. And the difference between the real spies and those you see in the motion pictures is the real ones, you want to make them into the little gray person, you know. Really uninteresting, sometimes even ugly, so that people won't want to stare at them.
The CIA would be proud of this octopus. It can use disguise not only to look the part, it seems to be able to act the part as well, which is why it's called the mimic octopus. Its extreme behavior has got marine biologists asking questions. Is the mimic octopus really trying to swim like a flounder? And could this be an attempt to mimic the shape and color of a sea snake? Is this a mimic octopus, or is it a deadly lionfish? No one knows how or why this octopus is capable of such extreme mimicry. All we can tell for certain is that the octopus has the best disguises in the countdown.
So far, we've seen amazing mimics, deadly jellies, and sensitive sharks. But we're not even halfway to revealing the most popular episode of The Most Extreme. Because still to come is a bird that could teach the mafia a trick or two. And there's one extreme mom that's literally dying to give birth. That's next on Animal Planet's Most Extreme Countdown Ever. All will be revealed on the best of the best.
Need a guide? There's more to Nevada than you think. You just have to know where to look. So visit travelnevada.com/TV to receive your free visitor's information package, including the Nevada Adventure Guide. Nevada, the possibilities are wide open.
You're watching Animal Planet.
How can a 50-year-old grandmother look this good? Simple. She strength trains with Bowflex.
My results are very real. I lost 17 pounds in the first 5 weeks on my Bowflex.
All it takes for great results is one simple workout done 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Own your very own Bowflex Extreme for no money down and payments of just $19 a month. If you want real results, you need a real Bowflex. Call us for a free DVD or video or visit us online today.
Don't give it back to him. Nice. Oh, you gotta call that.
With up to 40 NBA games a week, news, stats, and highlights.
Nice.
NBA League Pass from DirecTV is heaven. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today.
This is inhumane. We're going to stop this.
You're so little. It's amazing that he's even still alive.
You care about your dog so much, you go every day and you care for your dog.
That's why I'm here. I'm the voice of the animals.
If we hadn't have been out here today, this little guy would be dead in a day or two.
Really lucky puppies, so it's a happy day for them.
Bigfoot, the thylacine, the Mothman. If they're out there, we're going to find them on Animal X Week. Tomorrow, Animal Planet will tackle 5 animal legends. And using the latest technology, find the truth. Animal X Week, tomorrow at 9, only on Animal Planet.
Our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with number 11. We knew that motherhood wasn't easy, but the sacrifices made by one animal made it our choice for the #1 most extreme mom.
Some people love their moms to death. Alfred Hitchcock made a movie based on the true story of a man who loved his mommy to bits, and it almost killed the shower curtain industry. But Mrs. Bates wasn't the only mother to come to a sticky end, thanks to her ungrateful offspring. There are some real psychos in the natural world, and the worst of them all are born by the sea louse. Having kids is the last thing she should do. From the moment the male sea louse lures her into his lair, things go terribly wrong. Once he's got her in his clutches, there's no escape. She's sealed inside his burrow, with up to 25 other females in a harem of horror. Now they're all pregnant, but these extreme moms have no reason to look forward to Mother's Day. Unlike us. We love our moms so much that we put aside the second Sunday in May just for them. On Mother's Day, we take moms out to dinner, send around 150 million cards, jam phone lines, and of course, send 100 million flowers. Over half of all the moms in America receive roses on Mother's Day. Unlike the female sea louse, who would only get flowers for her funeral. The sea louse is the most extreme mom in the countdown because dozens of her psycho children have been eating her from the inside out. She dies as the withered husk of her body splits apart, unleashing her brood of little Norman Bateses into an unsuspecting ocean.
The female sea louse makes the ultimate sacrifice for her offspring. But it still wasn't enough to get her into the top 10 of our most extreme countdown. More people were conned into watching the show that's ranked number 10, because it seems that crime really does pay for the animal we thought was the most extreme, cheat.
How would you like it if your baby was swapped for an infant that grows much, much bigger? That's just what would happen if you were tricked by the biggest cheat in the countdown. You'd raise a baby that grows 10 times bigger than you are. So spare a thought for birds that are conned by the cuckoo. The scam begins when a female cuckoo raids the nest of a poor little reed warbler. First, she has to get rid of a warbler egg. Then, she replaces the warbler egg by laying one of her own. The cuckoo's egg, sitting at the front of the nest, is so well disguised that it fools the reed warbler into believing it's one of her own. But the con doesn't end there, because baby cuckoos are nasty. As soon as it hatches, the cuckoo chick will get rid of all the competition. And it does it right under its foster mom's nose. And then it literally eats its parents out of house and home. The poor reed warblers end up feeding a baby that's 10 times heavier than they are. But the warblers have no choice, because this baby is linked to the mob. Mobsters were big in Chicago in the 1920s. His business card may have read second-hand furniture dealer, but in reality, Al Capone was a gangster. He ruled Chicago, because if you messed with Capone, he messed with you. Scientists discovered that cuckoos are the Capones of the bird world when researchers removed cuckoo eggs from magpie nests. A few days later, they returned to find more than half the nests completely destroyed by the cuckoo mafia. It seems that cuckoos make birds an offer they can't refuse. Take care of my baby, or suffer the consequences.
In our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme, we've dealt with some pretty tough customers. From cuckoo con artists to mother-murdering sea lice. But still to come, on our way to reveal the best of the best, is an animal that's so strong it can lift 800 times its own weight. And there's one unusual male that knows what it's like to be pregnant. That's next on Animal Planet's most extreme countdown ever. This is the best of the best.
Number 1. Thanks for making the Scunsy Steamer America's #1 selling steam cleaner. Call today for your Scunsy Steamer and get the new 7-piece floor and wall steamer kit for free. Scunsy, a manufacturer recognized for superior products available at over 50,000 locations across America, has created a revolutionary pressurized steamer, specially designed to easily clean and sanitize nearly everything in and around your home without the use of chemicals, from tile and clothing to metal and glass. Steam is the choice of professionals to help kill bacteria, mold, mildew, dust mites, and other allergens on contact. No more scrubbing, no more toxic fumes. All you do is wipe. You'll get the concentrator nozzle to deep clean any surface, spot clean fabrics, and sanitize any area. Add 2 nylon brushes for detail work and scrubbing. The copper metal brush to break down grease and grime on tougher surfaces. Also included is the extender hose to make cleaning more convenient. Plus, you'll get the fabric attachment with 2 fitted cloth covers to instantly take out wrinkles, refresh upholstery, and deodorize drapes. Ideal for painting preparation or removal of old wallpaper. Snap on the handy squeegee to make glass, shower doors, and bathroom mirrors sparkle in seconds. The versatile angled nozzle helps sanitize those hard-to-reach areas. Plus the tip-filled instruction manual. And you won't have to pay $129 for all of this cleaning and sanitizing power. The Scunci steamer is yours for only 3 payments of just $19.95. That's a great deal. But wait, call right now and we'll double your brushes and cloth covers, add in this attractive canvas steamer storage case, and send you your bonus 7-piece wall and floor kit for free. All you pay is shipping and handling. All these bonuses of $50 value are yours when you call today. The Scunci steamer comes with a 1-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. There is no risk. Have your check or credit card handy when you call for this limited time offer. You'll receive your Scunci steamer 13-piece accessory kit, manual, 5-piece bonus set, the 7-piece floor kit, and the wonderful storage bag. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Call now.
You're watching Animal Planet.
It was the biggest race of the year. No matter what, I was gonna win. And that's when I realized that some things are more important than winning.
Teach us how to give.
Including others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
All the baseball you want and then some. MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. More of your favorite players. More of your favorite teams. And all the pennant races. Up to 60 games each week you won't get if you don't call. MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. Order now and save $20.
Animal Planet host Mo Rocca came to our house. We weren't sure what to expect. He kept saying we'd have a WOC Sunday.
Some cobras spit venom over 8 feet.
Whoa.
While this puppy just wants to lick your face. And peacocks, while peaceful, like to eat snakes.
Whoa. Then we got it. WOC Sunday is filled with WOC moments.
Mo Rocca hosts WOC Sunday, next Sunday at 8. Special so surprising, so amazing, they'll leave you saying, whoa. Only on Animal Planet.
Our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with number 9. Viewers were obviously impressed with the extraordinary dedication of the animal that we chose to be the number 1 most extreme dad.
Welcome to Miami. This is one place where you can find the most extreme dad in the countdown. In these waters, there are males that make the ultimate sacrifice in the name of fatherhood. For here, your mother is also your father. The number 1 most extreme dad in the countdown is the seahorse. Male seahorses are extremely romantic. When they're in the mood for love, they'll dance for 3 days. And it's all for a good reason. Dancing gives these guys a huge pot belly. And that's a real turn-on for female seahorses. Dancing close to his massive stomach, it takes only seconds for the female to lay hundreds of eggs inside the male. The seahorse is the number 1 most extreme dad in the countdown because it's the male that gets pregnant. That massive stomach is actually a brood pouch. The walls of his belly provide nourishment for the developing eggs inside him. Unfortunately, human males don't have the necessary equipment to get pregnant. But that doesn't stop some from trying.
I'm going to have a baby whether you like it or not.
I didn't know that, Smith. I'm going to have a baby, too.
You, Mr. Williams?
Well, why, if you can have one, I suppose I can.
In 1996, British journalist Adrian Gadden became a human seahorse. To experience what his pregnant partner was going through, he simulated all the symptoms of pregnancy. He drank salt water to suffer from morning sickness. He wore a false belly containing 20 pounds and strapped weights to his ankles. A constant diet of high-fiber foods generated a steady supply of internal gas. And he even suffered tenderness of the chest region by applying clothespins to his nipples. Guys, don't try this at home. After 9 months of this regime, most men would have a healthy respect for those with a bun in the oven. So spare a thought for the male seahorse. He can have 1,000 buns in his swollen oven. And it's 4 long weeks before his contractions begin. Then this extraordinary dad gives birth.
The male seahorse may have labored long and hard to get to number 9 in the countdown, but it still didn't push enough to displace the 8th most popular show in our most extreme special. Muscling in above all other contenders was the animal we thought had the most extreme strength.
The most extreme weightlifters in the countdown have been immortalized in museum collections all over the world. Their huge skeletons are a lasting reminder of their awesome power. But don't bother looking in the galleries, because the strongest animal in the countdown is kept in a drawer. Some researchers have estimated that a rhino beetle can lift 800 times its own weight. Imagine if we were as strong as this armor-plated insect. That would be like us lifting a tank. All 65 tons of it. So why is the rhino beetle so strong? Well, for its size, it has...
The rhinoceros beetle may have hoisted itself above the seahorse in our race to reveal the most popular episode of The Most Extreme. But there's still no match for a nasty worm that can lay 1 million eggs a day. Nor can they live up to the reputation of an animal tough enough to survive the fallout from a nuclear blast. That's next on Animal Planet's most extreme countdown ever. It's our best of the best.
Need a guide? There's more to Nevada than you think. You just have to know where to look. So visit travelnevada.com/TV to receive your free visitor's information package, including the Nevada Adventure Guide. Nevada, the possibilities are wide open.
To hold things that can make a mess, use Glad ForceFlex trash bags. The only bags with patented ForceFlex technology that stretches to prevent rips and tears. So what goes in doesn't come out. Glad ForceFlex trash bags for stretchable strength. Get Glad.
Our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues. Coming in at number 7 is an animal that was so tough, it hung in longer than all other contenders, which is why it was the obvious choice to be our most extreme survivor.
There's one animal that's so tough, you can find it just about anywhere on the planet. From the bottom of the ocean to the top of the Himalayas. It can survive in hot springs and freezing Arctic wastelands, dry deserts, and humid rainforests. It can even survive in your backyard. Entomologist Ruud Kleinpast is hunting for the world's toughest animal. You can find the most extreme survivor anywhere there's moss or lichen. The only problem is that the world's toughest animal is very, very small. The most extreme survivor in the countdown is the water bear.
It's a real shame that the water bears are so small. They're invisible to the naked eye, but if you could see them, they look cute. Just like little teddy bears.
Normally, this tiny animal waddles around on its 4 pairs of plump little legs, sucking the juices out of mosses and lichens. But when the going gets tough, how can the cute and squishy water bear be tougher than a grizzly bear? The water bear is the most extreme survivor on the planet because when conditions get tough, this animal effectively curls up and dies. It loses 99% of the water in its body and enters a state of suspended animation. Let's say a water bear starts getting too cold. It'll shrink down, retract all its legs, and shut down all systems until conditions improve. Once they're in this state, they're practically indestructible. Imagine if you were as tough as a water bear. If things started getting too cold, all you have to do is curl up and lose virtually all the water in your body. You'd enter a state of suspended animation. Freezing solid would be no problem to a human water bear. Water bears can survive temperatures as low as -328 degrees Fahrenheit. Extreme heat would be no trouble either. Water bears have survived a scorching 303 degrees. Imagine if a human was exposed to radioactive material. You could be 150 miles downwind from a nuclear blast and still get a lethal dose of fallout. That's about 500 rontgens, the units used to measure radiation. The indestructible water bear has been shown to survive 1,000 times that amount. The water bear's toughness is literally out of this world because it could even survive the vacuum of space. So it's no wonder that the soft and squishy water bear is the toughest creature in the countdown.
It takes more than just super survival skills to become number 6 in our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme. One animal certainly delivered more than any other contender, which is why it was our choice for the #1 most extreme birth.
Somewhere in this room is the most extreme breeder on the planet. But this breeder isn't human. It's a parasite. Dining out in the gut of most mammals is the tapeworm. This parasite produces more offspring than any other creature on Earth.
If you could give birth like a tapeworm, your children would fill the city of New York in 2 weeks. You'd be giving birth to 1 million babies a day. And if you're infected with a tapeworm, you probably do. Tapeworms are extreme breeders because they have more sexual organs than any other animal. Their body is a long chain of more than 2,000 identical segments. And each segment is almost entirely devoted to producing eggs. That's because the tapeworm's life cycle means that an egg has to be swallowed by another animal. And if we eat meat that's infected by a tapeworm, we get it too. But the chances of that happening are very, very small. That's why tapeworms release so many eggs, in the hope that one might be lucky enough to find a new home. Some of them might end up here, at the National Parasite Collection in Beltsville, Maryland. And if you ask nicely, Dr. Eric Hoberg will show you his favorite tapeworm.
The Philobothrym here is a human parasite, and this is the largest of the human parasites. This is an intestinal parasite, 75 feet long, and but you may not even know that you're infected with it. Roughly about 50 million people in the world are infected with these parasites.
The tapeworm is one animal that you'd never invite over for dinner, and yet it's ranked at number 6 in the countdown. Who'd have guessed that parasitic worms and tiny water bears would have been so high in our countdown of the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme? But still to come is another animal that most people avoid when it starts fuming. And discover that for some animals, falling in love is the last thing they will ever do. That's next on Animal Planet's Most Extreme Countdown Ever, because it's the best of the best. Most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with number 5. There's one animal that gives his all when he goes on a date, which is why we chose him as the most extreme lover.
In the forests of Australia, falling in love is the last thing you want to do if you're a male redback spider. This femme fatale is infamous throughout Australia for her poisonous bite, but she holds a deadly attraction for her puny mate. His courtship begins with an athletic backflip, which puts his bottom right in front of her enormous jaws. This is extreme bravery, because the femme fatale's love bite is full of venom. He's using his own body as a distraction so that he can mate with his hungry lover. And then, before the female's poison can work, the male tears himself free of her deadly embrace. The female just waits and licks her fangs. She knows that this half-eaten, hen-pecked mate will always limp back to her. He climbs straight back in the saddle and somersaults into position. This time, there's no escape. He dies so that his lover gets a good meal to nourish the eggs he's just fertilized.
The male redback spider was tasty enough to come in at number 5 in our popularity countdown. But just wait till you get a whiff of number 4. It's easy to smell why one animal was our choice to be the #1 most extreme stinker.
We've tracked the most extreme stinker in the countdown to this home in Orlando, Florida.
Wilson, sleepyhead. Hi, big boy. Come on. Come on. It's time to eat.
It's
You're not awake.
the skunk.
Come on, it's time to eat. That's my big boy.
Jamie Kinster shares her home with not one, but 11 of the world's most extreme stinkers.
Everybody wants food. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. That means I'm missing 5.
So why would anyone want to live with so many skunks?
They're cuddly, they're quiet, they're clean. They're very social animals. I started out with one, and it's sort of like having potato chips. You can't just have just one. Pinky, you're such a noisy eater. Look at you.
I'm just gonna rinse it.
There may be up to 5 million pet skunks in America today. Professional breeders meet the demand by supplying skunks whose scent glands have been surgically removed. So while there are no stink bombs in the Kinser house, even Jamie admits that wild skunks can be real stinkers.
It's probably one of the worst smells. It could bring tears to your eyes. It does temporarily blind you. It's kind of hard to explain what exactly it smells like. One of the worst things you can possibly smell, other than maybe something dead.
So what is the worst smell in the world? A nationwide survey of Americans tried to find out. Offensive bathroom odors were ranked in 4th place by 38% of respondents. Then came the smell of dirty diapers. Rotten eggs got 47% of the vote. But the clear winner, according to 60% of all people polled, was the skunk. The skunk produces those fearsome fumes inside 2 walnut-sized scent glands in its rear end. Even baby skunks are armed and dangerous. If you're sprayed, people 1.5 miles downwind will be able to smell you, and the skunk sulfurous cocktail actually sticks to you, because one chemical in the spray attaches to the proteins in hair and wool. Another ingredient reacts with the water in your sweat, so you keep stinking for days. So why do skunks have such smelly superpowers? Most predators learn the hard way. The skunk's 2 scent glands are powerful guns, capable of squirting up to 15 feet.
Perhaps if skunks sprayed sweeter-smelling perfume, they'd be ranked a little higher in our countdown to find the most watched episode of The Most Extreme. We've left behind stinky skunks and sexy spiders as we get closer to revealing the most popular episode of The Most Extreme. Up next is a warrior queen that can give birth to more soldiers than the entire U.S. military. And what animal has just 7 bones in a neck that stretches 6 feet high? Find out next on Animal Planet's the most popular episodes of The Most Extreme continues with number 3. Stretching ahead of all other contenders was the animal we chose to have the most extreme body parts.
Striding across the plains of Africa is the skyscraper of the animal kingdom, the giraffe. The word giraffe comes from an Arabic word meaning the tallest of all, and it's easy to see why. The world's tallest animal has some seriously stretched body parts. Its legs alone are taller than the average man. Its neck is even longer, giving it a great view of any potential predators in the grassland. Having a head for heights also means that the giraffe can feed in places no other grazers can reach. Even its tongue is enormous, for plucking branches like a miniature elephant's trunk covered in sticky saliva. The giraffe has such a bizarre collection of body parts that it's difficult to get an idea of just how tall it really is. Imagine meeting a human as tall as a giraffe. He'd be 3 times taller than the average man. That's a towering 19 feet high. Every basketball coach in the world would love a player tall enough to lean on the backboard. But the giraffe's most extreme body part is its neck. Incredibly, they have only 7 bones in their neck, just like humans. But their bones are much, much bigger. Imagine if your neck bones were 10 inches long. Then you'd really be able to stick your neck out. But living with a 6-foot-long neck isn't easy. If you think negotiating the muddy fringes of a water hole on stilts is tricky, just think of the difficulties involved in getting a drink of water. Because it has to pump blood all the way up that extreme neck, the giraffe's heart weighs a massive 24 pounds. That's 35 times heavier than a human heart, and it pumps 6 times the amount of blood each minute. If it weren't for the special valves in the neck controlling the flow of blood, the giraffe would pass out from the rush of blood hitting the brain every time it bent over for a drink. But there are some humans that find long necks so attractive that they've become known as the giraffe people. In Southeast Asia, women from the Karenni ethnic minority elongate their necks by fitting them with brass rings. The rings increase the distance from earlobe to collarbone up to 10 inches. That's more than double the average length of the human neck. The rings work by pushing down on the rib cage. This makes the body shorter, so it looks like the women have longer necks. The rings are said to be not as uncomfortable as they look. The only danger is if they're removed, because the neck muscles are so weak, they can no longer support the head.
The giraffe doesn't need metal rings to support its enormous neck, thanks to its extraordinary body parts. But size isn't everything in the struggle to become the most popular episode of The Most Extreme. Because coming in at number 2 is an animal that battled past all other contenders to become our choice to be the #1 most extreme fighter.
In the frozen forests of Northern Europe, the most extreme fighters on the planet sit in a fortress waiting for spring. Each giant mound is home to 1 million or more ants. These tiny insects are the most extreme fighters in the countdown because when ants go to war, nothing can stand in their way. Ants are the ultimate warriors because some individuals are literally born to fight. In addition to the ordinary worker ants, some colonies create a caste of professional fighters. This is a soldier ant. Those massive jaws are great for fighting, but not much else. It can't even feed itself and relies on other ants to bring it food to keep it fighting fit. But these soldiers are also equipped with chemical weapons. A sting in the tail of the ant can inject a deadly poison. Individually, each soldier is armed to the teeth. But what makes the ant army so deadly is the sheer weight of numbers. When ants fight, it really is the attack of the clones. Imagine if the US Army was like an ant colony and all the soldiers were sisters. In her lifetime, one ant queen could give birth to more soldiers than the entire US military. Ants are smart. They won't commit to a war unless they think they can win. So ants calculate the other colony's strength by judging how many workers show up to battle. Just like human wars, the worst defeats occur when one side has miscalculated the strength of their opposition. Tactical ant warfare has even attracted interest from human defense analysts. They're taking a close look at ants to try and sharpen their own techniques at estimating the strength of the enemy. The victorious colony will kill the queen, steal the food supplies, and even make slaves of the defeated workers. To try to prevent the devastation of their colony, one race of Asian ants has developed the ultimate warrior. This ant has a huge gland inside its abdomen. In extreme combat, it will rupture its own body wall, causing the gland to explode. The ants are like walking grenades, spraying sticky, toxic material all over the enemy. They make the ultimate sacrifice to protect their colony, which is why they're the most extreme fighters in the countdown.
We've seen the 19 contenders. Each one was the most extreme animal in their countdown. Only one episode had enough viewers to become the best of the best. It's #1, and it's coming up next on Animal Planet's most extreme countdown ever. It's the exciting finale of the best of the best. We've reached the end of our countdown of the most watched episodes of the most extreme. It's time to reveal what animal was #1. the best of the best, could chew through all other contenders, which is why we chose it to become the most extreme biter.
Every animal in the sea knows that when it comes to biting, what could be better than Jaws? Surely nothing could compete with the great white shark. The great white shark is a bloodthirsty biter that could easily be #1 in the countdown. After all, it's always on the lookout for something to sink its teeth into. And they go through teeth like nothing on Earth. That's because the shark is constantly replacing old teeth with newer, sharper versions. Wouldn't it be nice if we weren't quite so attached to our teeth? Then pulling teeth wouldn't be such a giant job. All 32 adult teeth are firmly anchored in our jaws. Our teeth are meant to last us a lifetime, but then we don't put as much strain on our teeth as a shark. The average human bite strength is only about 300 pounds per square inch. Compare that to a shark. Their jaws are estimated to generate forces 100 times more powerful. We'd go through a few teeth as well if our bite strength topped the scales at 40,000 pounds per square inch. But not even the great white shark could take on the U.S. nuclear submarine fleet and win. The #1 most extreme biter in the countdown earned its place because back in the 1970s, it forced a nuclear submarine to return to base. Something attacked the layer of neoprene rubber covering the sensitive sonar dome in the bow. Careful study showed that the submarine had been hit by something that removed a perfect plug of rubber, 2 inches wide and 2.5 inches deep. It looked like the attacker had come straight from the kitchen. The plugs in the neoprene rubber looked as though they had been sliced by a cookie cutter. And that's just what happened. For these teeth belong to the most extreme biter in the countdown, the cookie cutter shark. It's #1 because, for its size, the cookie cutter has the largest teeth of any shark in the sea. But it doesn't normally eat submarines. Nobody's ever filmed what goes on far beneath the waves. But scientists know that the cookie cutter, one of the smallest sharks in the world, hunts the biggest animals on the planet. Whales, not nuclear submarines, are the normal diet of the cookie cutter shark. And that's what makes this biter #1 in the countdown. It feeds by sinking those incredible teeth into the side of a whale and then lifting out a cookie-shaped piece of flesh before the whale, or submarine, knows what hit it.
This extreme feeding behavior is why the cookie cutter shark is not only the #1 biter in the countdown, it also represents the most popular episode so far of the most extreme. It really is the best of the best.
Up next, it's one of the crocodile hunter's greatest challenges.